What is up, Bucks Nation? We just lost to the Atlanta Falcons, which ultimately means nothing. The only thing that sucks is it cements us with a losing record, 8-9 record. Brady's only losing record. I know he didn't play the whole game, but he did start, and now Brady's what, 12-1 against the Falcons technically because he started, but. Yeah, there isn't really much to say about this game, but I'll go into my little review. And yeah, before I get started, my name is Rami V. If you are new here, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. I post weekly Buccaneer reaction videos. So our Buccaneers lost to the Atlanta Falcons 30-17, and it was pretty clear in the first half that the coaches were not taking this game serious to the point that they were going to try to win the game. We had 222 yards of total offense, 136 passing, 86 rushing. The Falcons had 382 total yards, 208 passing, 174 rushing. They completely beat us kind of in terms of offensive production overall. Most of our offensive starters came out in the fourth or fifth drive near the end of the first half, and defenders too as well. A lot of players didn't play, but I'll get into the stats. So Brady was 13 of 17 for 84 yards and a touchdown. Not much going on. Mike Evans was out early also for an illness. So Brady didn't even have a full supporting cast. Gabbert came in with 6 of 8 for 29 yards and 1 touchdown. Very conservative game plan in terms of very short passes, things like that. Kyle Trask came in at the end, 3 of 9 for 23 yards. I think if the coaches were really planning on not taking this game serious and really pushing for a win, they should have just played Trask earlier because we need to know what we have in Trask. And I think when the game wasn't 30-17, we could have played Trask a little more and been close and maybe used a little more of a game plan, but they kind of put it when they essentially gave up. And I feel like even these 9 passes don't show us what we have in Trask. He didn't really show much, to be honest, and he didn't look that good. But again, it's only 9 passes against and I think the Falcons may have benched some of their defenders too, but I think that was just bad coaching in terms of you want to know what you have next year in case Brady doesn't return. So the best option is to have him play more. I think Gabbert was fine coming in the end of the first half. They should have took him out in the middle of the third quarter and let Trask play a quarter and a half or something. But whatever, I'm not the coaches. Apparently they know what they're doing. Allegedly, who knows? In the running game, Giovanni Bernard, 7 carries for 28 yards. Vaughn, 8 for 26. Devin Tompkins had 1 for 17. And Rashad White, 4 for 15. Again, nothing much to talk about. Lenny didn't get any snaps. Or maybe he got some snaps, but he didn't get any carries. On the receiving end, Godwin had 6 catches for 55 yards, puts him at over 1,000 yards for the season. It's his second 1,000-yard season of his career, and he has over 100 receptions. He did fumble again. That's his second fumble in 2 weeks, and hopefully it doesn't become an issue, but balls are getting punched out, and hopefully it's not a trend. Devin Tompkins, 4 catches for 25 yards. I kind of like him. He's very speedy. I feel like a lot of his catches, he had to break tackles to get extra yards, or else they would have been 2 or 3 yard gains, and I want to see him get involved more often on end arounds. He clearly looks like the quickest player on our team. Maybe not the fastest in terms of long range speed. That looked like Julio a couple of times this season, but he's definitely very quick and shifty, and I'd like to see them get him more involved. Russell Gage, 3 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown. Perriman, 1 for 9. Nobody really did much. Kyle Rudolph had 1 catch for 8 yards, and it was a touchdown as well. Put him at 50 touchdowns for his career. So that's good. So again, offensively, nothing to talk about. We took out a lot of starters. I know Hainsey hurt his hamstring. They moved Leverett to center a little bit. The Falcons were blitzing a lot, and then they just pulled Brady and then kind of shut it down from there. Defensively, Akeem Hicks had 1 sack. We were getting a lot of pressure on Desmond Ridder, but he's pretty shifty. Broke out of a lot of different sacks as well. Speaking of Desmond Ridder, he had 19 completions out of 30 attempts for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was his first touchdown of his career was against us. He played, 3-4 games now, and he didn't throw a touchdown all year. He threw 2 against us. He also did have a fumble on a very bad, I don't know if the running back hit him. I couldn't tell, but it looked like he went back to throw and the ball just slipped out, and then Devin White recovered, which led to our second touchdown, which was by Blaine Gabbert. Their running game was very good. Algier, 24 carries for 135 yards. Cordell Patterson, 5 for 18 and a touchdown. Receiving game, Drake London, 6 catches for 120 yards. That dude, I think he destroyed us as well the first time we played him. He seems like a legit threat. I don't know how. He doesn't look super fast or big, but he has a very good catch radius and good hands. Zacchaeus, 4 for 37 and a touchdown. Pruitt, 3 for 34 and a touchdown. A lot of other players didn't really get that many catches for the Falcons. But yeah, overall, I mean, this game I didn't really tweet much about. I knew what it was. It didn't matter if we win or lost. We have the 4th seed locked. Nothing else really matters in terms of who we're playing and not. Nothing that we can control, at least. Better to go into the playoffs healthy and get our players some rest and try to get a winning record and then being, whatever the case is. Whoever we're playing, it's definitely going to be from the NFC East. If the Eagles win, they clinch the 1st seed and we end up facing Dallas for sure. If the Eagles lose and the Cowboys win, the Cowboys will get the division and then we'll play the Eagles. Or both teams lose, I think we'd still get the Cowboys. So looks more than likely we're going to get the Cowboys. I know the Giants aren't starting Daniel Jones. They looks like they're locked in their 6th seed as well, so there's no point for them either. So it looks like we're going to get the Cowboys. If I have to predict, I know there's 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. It's Dallas Cowboys, huge ratings. Tom Brady, big ratings. Potentially Brady's last playoffs with Tampa, or even in his career in general. We don't know if he's going to retire or not. They did open the last 2 seasons. We had that first game of the season on that Thursday night after the Super Bowl against Dallas, big ratings, and then that first Sunday Night Football this year. I would assume they would put the Bucs and Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I don't want a Monday Night Football game because we're going to need to try to have a typical weekend, typical game time, and then face up for round 2 if we win. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do, and I guess we're not going to know until the second block of games ends. So what's that, in 4 hours or so, 3-4 hours. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, nothing really to talk about this game. I can't say I'm impressed with anything or not impressed. Kyle Trask looked below average. Again, he only had 9 passes when they knew we were going to pass because we were down. So can't really tell there. But yeah, Bucs Nation, we made the playoffs, 8-9 record. They did put a stat that the 4th seed is like 0.57 winning percentage, and like 10 of them have gone to the Super Bowl, whatever the number was. But last year, both 4 seeds made it to the Super Bowl, the Bengals and the Rams. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I think we have a very big uphill battle considering how bad we were all season. So we'll see. I think for us, the playoffs, the scariest team that I think we'll have the hardest time to beat is the San Francisco 49ers. I think we can beat the Cowboys. They choke every year in the playoffs, and they're coming to Tampa and potentially Brady's last game at home and all of these things. I think Giants we can beat as well, though they would be tough. Eagles we can beat. Minnesota. I think the toughest team, like I said, San Francisco, then probably Minnesota. And then Eagles probably around there. Those are the top 3 toughest teams. But luckily we get the Cowboys. I would rather face the Cowboys in the first round than the Eagles. But yeah, so that's my reaction. Please comment down below what you think of the game and what you think of Kyle Trask in the playoffs moving forward. But yeah, thank you, Buck Nation. And as always, I am out.
Let's go! You know what?